Some stories entertain us, others disturb us. And then there are stories that quietly wrap themselves around our hearts and refuse to let go. The Thing Around Your Neck by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is not just a collection of short stories. No. It is a mirror held up to love, to loss, to identity, to power, to migration and survival. These stories speak of women finding their voices. They speak of men shaped by privilege and war. They speak of immigrants carrying invisible weights, and of ordinary people trapped inside extraordinary moments. As you listen, you may recognize yourself in the silence, the longing, the fear, and the courage of these characters. Each story begins gently but ends with a truth that lingers long after the last word is spoken. Stay with us, because these are not just stories to be heard. They are stories to be felt. If you love thoughtful storytelling and deep literary conversation, like this video, subscribe to Top Reads Review, and share it with a fellow book lover. Now let's step into the world of The Thing Around Your Neck. The first story is called Selwan. What happens when privilege finally meets cruelty? What happens when charm is no longer enough to buy freedom? In Selwan, Adichie pulls us into a Nigeria university where corruption is normal and justice is negotiable. We follow a charming young man whose recklessness has always been forgiven until he enters a prison cell where money, power, and connection decide who survives. This story forces us to question fairness, gender bias, and a system that protects the powerful while crushing the weak. Second story is imitation. What if your marriage looked perfectly but felt empty? What if silence slowly erased who you were? Imitation explores the quiet loneliness of a woman living a luxurious life in America while her husband lives freely in Nigeria. When she discovers a betrayal that cuts deeper than infidelity, she must confront the truth about love, the truth about power, and the truth about self-worth. This is a story about awakening, not confrontation. Our third story is A Private Experience. In the middle of violence, two strangers find something stronger than hate. Set during a brutal religious riot, this story follows two women from opposing faiths hiding together. As chaos unfolds outside, compassion grows inside. A Private Experience reminds us that shared humanity can exist even when the world is tearing itself apart. Our fourth story is Ghosts. Some wars never end. They follow survivors like shadows. Ghost revisits Nigerian Biafran War through the eyes of a retired professor who encounters someone he believed long dead. This reflective story explores memory, it explores loss, and the intellectual dreams destroyed by war. It asks, what happens to a nation when its thinkers disappear? Our fifth story is On Monday of Last Week. Loneliness does not shout. It hides in routine. This story follows a quiet immigrant nanny whose invisible life becomes emotionally tangled with her employer. Beneath ordinary routines lies longing, isolation, and unspoken desire. On Monday Last Week captures the silent inner lives we rarely notice. The next story is Jumping Monkey Hill. Who gets to decide what Africa really looks like? At a writer's retreat, African authors discover their voices are being filtered through Western expectations. This bold and uncomfortable story challenges stereotypes and asks who truly owns African stories and who gets silenced. The next story is The Thing Around Your Neck, which inspired the title of the whole book, The Thing Around Your Neck. And in this story, we are told, sometimes dreams don't free us, they tighten around our throats. This title follows a young Nigerian woman chasing opportunity in America only to find loneliness, racism, and emotional suffocation. The Thing Around Your Neck captures the silent struggles of migration and the longing for home. or for going back home. The eighth story is the American Embassy. What if survival demanded that you sell your pain? During a brutal dictatorship, a widow seeks asylum but refuses to turn her trauma into a performance. This powerful story questions systems that demand suffering as proof and honors dignity as resistance. The ninth story is the shivering. Fear can shake faith and reveal truth. Set after the September 11 attacks, the shivering follows two Nigerian immigrants navigating fear, belief, friendship, and unspoken love. It's a quiet, emotional exploration of faith under pressure. Our 10th story is the arrangers of marriage. What if love required you to disappear? This story follows a young woman trapped in an arranged marriage where assimilation means suppression. As control tightens, she must decide between marriage and identity. It is a powerful story of resistance and self-definition. Then our 11th story is Tomorrow is Too Fast. Some guilt never speaks, but it never leaves. A woman reflects on childhood jealousy that led to irreversible tragedy. This emotionally heavy story explores guilt, resentment, and the lifelong consequences of unspoken emotions. Then our very last story is called The Headstrong Historian. History survives because someone refuses to forget. Spanning generations, this story follows women who resist colonial silencing and reclaim African history. The Headstrong Historian celebrates memory, it celebrates resistance, and the power of women as keepers of the truth. Each of these stories is unique, yet together they carry weight, they carry pain, they carry lots of beauty and truth. And that's a glimpse of into the all 12 stories of the thing around unique. Now it's your turn to give us your feedback and guide us. Which story should we dive into first? Comment below and let us know. Your choice might shape the next video, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of the stories. Stay with Top Reads Reviews as we unpack them one by one, slowly, deeply, and honestly. These stories don't just entertain. They stick with you long after the last word is spoken. Remember to subscribe, like, and join the conversation. Bye bye for now. See you in our next video.